I have lost all respect for I've been preached.
Men should not show all of their emotions to women, because women judge men very harshly on that. For instance, if something tragic happened and I was in the room with my wife and it caused me to start crying or something, I'm not gonna be like, throw her out of the room. You gotta leave the room. You can't see me like this.
Well, you know, I think he forgot how to compartmentalize.
You know, you don't get your lick back.
You know, but normally he's very good at putting things in a box and not crying. Normally.
That's not how emotions work.
But to take a video from 2 years ago to somehow leverage that to make fun of me for crying, tearing up when Charlie Kirk was murdered is insane to me.
Guys, we got to talk about a unique topic today. This is going to be a little different, still somewhat related to politics, but more so political figures or, you know, people kind of in the YouTube/content creation space, right? So you guys see the title and thumbnail, Abba and Preach. A lot of you guys probably know these fellas, black fellas. They do YouTube videos. They're comedians, I guess. And, you know, normally they're pretty funny. I don't really watch them regularly. I used to like a long time ago, but I just kind of stopped because I don't, you know, always find them entertaining or whatever. You know, it is what it is. So you kind of stop and you start and, you know, you could just kind of jump in and out. I've heard people say they do the same with this channel. You know, watch it sometimes and then they just, you know, stop watching and then they come back later. You know, it's all well and good, you know, but I did have respect for these guys at first. But after I saw what I saw today, I don't think so anymore. Apparently they got into it with Officer Tatum. I mean, they basically don't like conservatives. So they pretty much find any way that they can to take jabs at conservatives. They went after the Hodge Twins.
To be honest, I don't want to live in the United States of America if it's not majority white.
Hey Arval, I know your community is whites only, but could you make exceptions for us two Negroes? We're not even full sub-Saharan. We are over 40% white. And Arval says this: God bless the Hodge Twins. But no.
Yeah, what do you thought was about that happening?
Yeah, this video comes from.
All right, first of all, wait a minute, y'all actually think I was being serious? I was joking. Why would I want to go to live beside white people that are scared of me? Yeah, I live in a white neighborhood. There's a couple. I live in a white neighborhood. Well, multicultural is white. There's black. But I live in a mansion. Why would I move to Arkansas? I was joking. I was just joking. Yeah, Arkansas is nice, but I don't want to live in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. And I'm living around a bunch of people that are scared of me. I'm walking on eggshells. Can I stay, master? Can I stay, please? I didn't mean no harm. Just looking at your woman. I just said hi. I don't want to live in that. I was joking, fellas. Yeah. I was joking. Yeah.
Who I've reacted to on this channel. And now they're going after Officer Tatum for grieving Charlie Kirk's death on camera. Now, I didn't intentionally, I tried not to watch because I think Officer Tatum was live. At least that's what it looks like. If any of you guys saw it, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he was live when it was announced that Charlie Kirk had died. Not just got shot, but had died. So, you know, he cried on camera, you know, didn't just cut the camera off. But previously he said that he tries to withhold his emotions to be strong for his family and had that solid foundation as the rock to kind of carry his family and be strong effectively. So I've been preached apparently did not respect that, and they decided to make a big joke out of it. It's in poor taste, but I'll let you guys see what Officer Tatum had to say himself, because he obviously had a big problem with this. By the way, guys, there's a new feature on YouTube where you can hype videos. So be sure to like the video, hype the video. It helps out a lot. Appreciate you.
I have lost all respect for I've been preached after this video.
I'm her foundation. I'm her strong point. I'll cry on my own, but if everything is going south, I want my wife to know I'm strong in that situation. I heard a guy say this, is that when my father passes away, which everybody's parent is gonna pass away, I'm not gonna cry at his funeral. I don't want to cry in his funeral. I want my father to know that I'm strong enough to stand up and have this conversation. I've compartmentalized what has happened.
You don't get your lick back.
You can see right there before we continue. I mean, it's small text, but can you see the, hold on, can you see the cursor? Yeah, the cursor is here. So it has Charlie Kirk's name right there at the bottom. So this is basically Officer Tatum reacting to Charlie Kirk's death. What appears to be a live, because he live streams, I think, well, like every day, or he live streams often. And yeah.
This is a sickness.
For me, you suffer.
hold
I
your
think you
tears?
suffer in silence.
have to.
That's what I think.
But to take a video from 2 years ago,
Before he continues, guys, Officer Tatum, I actually saw his channel, I think before Auburn Preacher's channel, like years ago. He's been doing this for a long time. He was a young buck at the time when he started this. And I don't watch him regularly either. I don't really pretty much watch anybody's YouTube channel regularly. I'm too busy making videos, but I've never seen him really particularly emotional about anything ever. So to kind of like, you know, it looks like they had to like go specifically to a place where they knew he was going to be sad in order to find this. That alone is like, dude, what are you doing with your life? Like, that's really just, it's just odd behavior. Like, it's kind of makes you question these guys' character. Like, okay, if you guys get sad on camera, you want people to, you know, start making videos about you based off of some random contradiction of something you said before, where you said you don't cry on camera or something. I don't know. It just seems like a very poor taste. Let's keep going.
to somehow leverage that to make fun of me for crying, tearing up when Charlie Kirk was murdered is insane to me. If I lost followers or something, or something, you know, somebody gave a bad review on my store and I cried about it, I can see somebody trying to leverage that to make fun of me. That's fine. It's fair game. But for you to be so disgusting, to try to make a point, which my original point wasn't even nothing that they're referring to, but to try to make a point to bash a person who had an emotional response to his friend getting assassinated in front of the world. I wasn't just a follower of Charlie. He was a friend of mine. I just seen him not too long before he got killed. Just did an event. We just talked backstage at an event, which I have done Turning Point events since 2018 every year. I have done events with Charlie. I've done events for Charlie. I've worked with Turning Point and been at their headquarters. I used to work with Turning Point directly, meaning that I used to work for them as the urban engagement director. We went to the White House together. I mean, they just acquired Blexit, which I'm a co-founder of. Like, and you see your friend get murdered on television with blood gushing out his neck, and you know, I was at his wedding. I know his wife. I could imagine what that does to his kids. And to try to make fun of somebody for that is the lowest that you can go.
100% agreed. That's kind of what's sad. One of the reasons I stopped watching, I think this was around the time I stopped watching, was they got into a bunch of drama with Fresh and Fit, if you guys are familiar with them.
Right? Seems like the guys from Fresh and Fit are really upset.
We are better than you niggas, period.
People want to know our thoughts.
I mean, I'm definitely not like a big fan of theirs either. And I was kind of more on the Auburn Preach side, but I didn't like the fact that it was like this back and forth drama. So instead of actually talking about kind of relevant topics, which is one of the reasons I won't have too many videos like this on this channel, it was just like drama back and forth. So some people might, you know, they might have got a bunch of subscribers from that. I don't know, but at least for me, it just wasn't for me. Like, I didn't care to see men kind of duke it out with one another like a bunch of little girls, cat fighting. So in this case, I would 100% agree with Officer Tatum that this was definitely over the line. You know, like I talk about here that I don't want to, you know, hey, you're not going to catch me crying because, like, you know, Trump lost, or, you know, Charlie Kirk got murdered, or, you know, pretty much anything I'll say. But of course, everybody has their moments, right? And obviously, if I'm recording, then I could just cut it out. But if you're live streaming, it's either just cut the whole live stream, you know, or just, you know, let it all out, I guess. I had a couple years ago, not long ago, back in 2023, my best friend passed away, and my grandmother on my dad's side passed away within a couple months of one another. It was a very difficult time. You know, if I had this channel, which I didn't have until after this, you know, it would have been difficult to make videos. And if I found out, surely if I found out, like, while I was in the middle of making a video or live streaming or something, then I'm sure that I would have shed tears. I shed tears when I found out the news for both of them. But did I try to avoid that later, including at their funerals? Absolutely. No tears shed at either funeral, which is excruciatingly difficult, but that's something that I did. So I agree with Tatum here in the fact that somebody would go out of their way to kind of try to catch you. It's kind of like basically kicking somebody while they're down, which is something that for some reason I thought I've been preached were above, but I guess I was wrong. But these are just my thoughts, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate you guys watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out. Big shout out to my members, 655, Cat 3309, and Noodle. Could not do it without you.
I could have turned the feed off. Been like, I'll turn the feed off. The only reason I didn't is because I wanted people to understand the raw emotion of what happened with Charlie, and that they weren't alone in that particular situation. That for what people were feeling when Charlie died, they weren't alone. They weren't alone in that. And so I just told them, I didn't tell them to cut the feed. But to try to make a joke out of this and to try to act like it's crazy, man. Because one day, one of these guys are gonna lose somebody that they care about, and people are gonna make fun of them.